Good morning. It's Arvian, and you'll be cooking with A La Arvy again today. And it's chilly outside. Well, a bit cool, 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So I decided I wanted to have some cream of wheat. But then I was like, how creative can I do my cream of wheat today? I normally do quite a lot of different versions of cream of wheat, by the way. But today I decided to do something a little bit even more creative. And so today I am doing some pineapple, coconut, cinnamon, cream of wheat. Sounds interesting, sounds intriguing, but let's get to it and let's see what we're about. All right. So as usual, I started preparing before thinking about videotaping. So anyway, just let's let you know what I've done. So in here, I had some fresh pineapple. So I cut up I cut it up and I put about, I don't know, maybe six slices, 6 pieces in here, and I blended it. As you can see, it's now very creamy and puffy. I'm gonna actually put it in a measuring cup so I can let you know how much I've added. Okay, so I'm adding 1 cup of blended natural pineapple to what I'm about to do. Okay, so it's 1 cup of pineapple puree, I guess I'd call it. All right, so I've added the 1 cup of pineapple puree here. Oh, okay. And let me take out this clump. Don't want any clumps in there, so I'll take this clump out. But anyway, so added it to here. And then next step is to add, I do my cream of wheat. I like it creamy, so I do it with unsweetened almond milk. So I'm measuring out here now. So I'm going to do to my 1 cup of pineapple puree, I'm going to add 7 cups of this brand is Silk, but of my unsweetened almond milk. All right, that's what's up next. All right. And so I have the 1 cup of pineapple puree and the 7 cups of unsweetened almond milk in here. So I'm just mixing it up, mixing it up, mixing it up, mixing it up. Yeah, making sure I get everything in here mixed up. So this is the cream of wheat that I'll be using. So next up is to do 1.5 cups of this cream of wheat. So I'm just going to measure it out and have it separate from my mixture over here. Next, I'm going to add to my mixture some coconut milk powder. So I'm going to do 2 scoops of this. Yeah, there's only about another scoop here, so I'll just there. So this is altogether about 2 scoops though. Okay, so of course now we have the coconut milk powder in here. We have to, and I'm using a fork just to help it blend properly, yeah? So I'm gonna just kind of mix and mix and mix and mix until it blends in, removes all these clumps and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna blend until it's smooth. And all right, I mixed it. It's gonna have to, the heat's gonna smoothen out some of that coconut that I didn't get to smoothen in there, which is fine. No worries about that. All right, and next is the cinnamon. And of course, I don't want it to be overbearing. I just want a pinch of cinnamon, whatever that means. But for me, I'm doing, I guess, a dash, maybe 2. There we go. All right, and as usual, and I always tell you with your items, it has to be based on what you like to taste, right? So I added initially the 2 dashes of cinnamon, and then as I'm stirring, I tasted it and I needed a little bit more, so I added an additional 2. So altogether, I added 4 dashes of cinnamon to the mixture that I've already told you about. So last step before putting it on the fire is to add some sugar. So I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of sugar at a time and taste it to see whether or not it's sweet enough, and again, per your liking. Okay, and one thing I didn't mention, let me go ahead and do that now, is you need to add what is it, dash of salt or something. I'll show you what I do. So I'm adding this amount of salt to it, okay? And as you saw, I already had the 1 tablespoon of sugar in there. So then I'm just gonna mix this up. Then I'm gonna taste it and see if I need to add any more sugar. All right, so I ended up adding 4 tablespoons of sugar. But again, you have to taste it, depends on your liking. So I put the stove on medium heat. And now I'm going to pour this mixture in my pot. As you can see, I'm making a lot of cream of wheat today. So if you need to make smaller portions, of course, you know, garden yourself accordingly. But for me, I am doing about 8-9 servings of cream of wheat here today. Maybe 10, depends on the portions. And of course, I got my trusty spoon. And so as it starts to heat up, you know, this is one of those processes that you don't want clumps. So you just kind of have to keep stirring and stirring and stirring. Once this gets heated and all of those, you see my residual clumps of, it's not really clumps, but the coconut and so forth. Once it gets heated, and all of these things are, becomes a homogeneous mixture, meaning that everything is all in and creamy and blended, heated, and the heat blend smoothens it out, then I'll add my cream of wheat. All right, so I'll be stirring in the meantime. All right, you see how it's smoothing out? You can't see those little things of, they weren't clumps, but you can't see the coconut any longer. It's just about hot enough to start adding the cream of wheat grain. Okay, so typically you want to be stirring while you're adding this, but as I'm using my hands to record, I'm going to try to just do this really quickly. Add it in and then continue to stir so that you don't have any clumps, okay? Make sure to stir from the bottom so that you get all that when you first poured it in, and then you continue with your slow, there we go. So then you continue with your slow mixing. All right, I'll continue mixing and I'll show you as it starts to thicken up. Coming nice and thick. Now, this is also subjective and it all depends. If you like your cream of wheat runny, if you like it thick, it all depends on what you like. But the key is to make sure that your grains are cooked. Lord have mercy. I had someone make cream of wheat for me one time and that thing was crunchy like I was eating some kind of corn or something that was freshly popped and didn't really cook good or something. I mean, it was just like so granular. That's not what cream of wheat is supposed to be. It's supposed to make sure that, you see if you can see here, you got to make sure that the grains, you see how it's translucent? When the grains are translucent, it means that it's cooked, okay? And then once it's cooked, then depends on how you want it. If you want it more thick, if you want it more runny, then you can add a little bit more milk. Some people add water, but I like mine's creamy, so I add a little bit more milk accordingly. So I'm getting ready now to put this out into their respective bowls and enjoy. Listen, I wish y'all could smell. Oh my gosh, this thing smells so heavenly with that pineapple and coconut and the hint of cinnamon. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. It's time to get it all situated so I can sit down and have a wonderful breakfast. And this is this morning's breakfast. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me in another session of Cooking with A La Arvy. I hope you enjoy if you do try it. And again, it's to taste and it's to whatever you like. If you don't like pineapples, then add something else. If you don't like coconut, add something else. If you don't like cinnamon, add nutmeg, add spice, pumpkin spice, whatever. Add whatever you like to taste. But for me, this is going to go down smoothly. I then had a few spoonfuls. And ooh, scrumptious. So I am about to go and take it all down and have me a nice, hearty, wonderful breakfast on this cool Saturday morning. Well, you take care. Hope you have a great rest of your day and stay tuned for future sessions. Cooking with A La Arvy. Peace. Sparkles.